Hello and welcome to the Automated Membership Machine. In this video series, I'm going to talk about how to create a fixed term membership site. So let's go ahead and dive right in. This is video number 1, the introduction and the tools that you're going to need. Now, before we get started and begin the implementation process of your fixed term membership site, I want you to get into the right mindset. I don't want you to be concerned about the fancy membership site scripts. I know a lot of times when you create a membership site, you're thinking, okay, what kind of membership script out there would be good for me? And then you start looking into the membership scripts and you see how all these features are and this and that. And then when you begin to implement that script, you realize how complicated it really is. So what I want you to do is just think. This is the simplest form of a membership site that you can create. A fixed term membership site integrated with Aweber, GetResponse, or any other autoresponder service. In fact, you're going to be amazed how easy this is once we jump in. And you might even think to yourself, wow, is this really it? So what I want to do instead of talk about it is just jump straight into it, talk about the tools you need, prepare you for everything so that we can begin to implement the fixed term membership site. Now what I want to do is give you a quick overview. This is video number 1, and video number 2, I'm going to help you plan, brainstorm, and prepare for video number 3, which is where you gather all your content, we organize that content so that it is ready to be uploaded. Video number 4, I'm going to talk about how to create a higher stick rate and customer value. Now, a lot of people don't think about this when they create a membership site. They just create it and assume that people are going to stick around. Now, the average dropout rate is usually 3 months and so forth. But there are tricks that you can use to actually get your customers to stay. And I'm going to talk about that in video number 4. Video number 5, we're going to create a thank you page or a downloaded page, the same thing. So basically after the person pays, they see the thank you page, they fill out the Aweber form, and then they're forwarded to get your content and so forth. So we're basically creating an automated membership machine. Video number 6, we're going to talk about how to create a PayPal subscription button and put that onto your sales page so that when somebody buys, they are sent to your thank you page. And video number 7, we're going to talk about how to upload the pages and get the URL. So for example, what we're going to do is we're going to upload the main thank you page as well as all of the other content and so forth, like week 1, week 2, or month 1, month 2, and so forth. Video number 8, we're going to talk about how to deliver your content using your Aweber or GetResponse or autoresponder system. And then video number 9, we're going to talk about testing it. It's vital to test out your system before you make it live. So we want to make sure that we test it. I'm going to show you how to do that. And of course, last but not least, video number 10, I'm going to show you how to minimize your support. In other words, once you have that fixed term membership site, what can you do to minimize your support? Because you don't want to be overwhelmed by the same exact questions over and over again. Now what I want to do now is talk about the tools you need so that you can gather those tools before we begin the implementation process. You're going to need a website. You're going to need a domain and web hosting. Now in this video series, I'm going to assume that you already have a website and you already have your content. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to implement this and create an automated machine and add it to your website. You're going to need to have a FTP program, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. All that means is a fancy term for uploading your files to your web hosting account. So FileZilla, it's a free software. You don't have to pay anything. Composer, I love it. I use it. and it's a free tool as well. It's a tool that allows you to edit the thank you pages, the sales pages, and so forth. And you're also going to need an autoresponder, whether that's Aweber, whether that's GetResponse, and so forth. Now, if you're just getting started, what I recommend you do is just start out with the basics. Start out with the cheapest plan. And once you grow, then, add upon that plan. So that's that. Let's move on to video number 2. And let me help you go ahead and plan, brainstorm, and begin to gather your content. Hello and welcome to video number 2. We're going to talk about planning, brainstorming, and preparation. So let's go right ahead and do some quick planning and prep work. Here's a quick overview of what we're going to be discussing in this specific video. We're going to talk about your sales funnel because it's important to know how you're going to deliver your content. We're going to talk about branding. We're going to talk about how long will your membership site last and the delivery plan. Every one of these pieces are components that work together. Let's talk about the basic sales funnel. How are you going to deliver your product from the point of the person landing on the sales page to going to the PayPal button to getting delivered the content? Normally, this is what it looks like. Somebody goes to your sales page, they click on the PayPal subscription button. It can be monthly, it could be weekly, and so forth. Then after that, they pay. They're sent to the thank you page, which includes the autoresponder sign up. And then through the autoresponder, they are delivered products through the autoresponder. So that's what the basic fixed term membership site looks like. Now, if you were to get a little more complicated and add a sales funnel with a one-time offer, then it would look like this. You have a sales page, they get on the sales page, they click the PayPal button, and then after that, they see a one-time offer that says, hey, hold on, we've got a one-time offer here. If they go purchase it, then they get sent to the one-time offer thank you page with the autoresponder, or if they say no, then they're going to be sent to the regular thank you page. Then after that, the products get delivered through the autoresponder. So if you add a one-time offer, it does make it a little more complicated, but it's really not that bad. But in this specific video series, I'm going to talk about the sales funnel in relation to a basic sales funnel with no one-time offer. So this is important to know just so that you can put all the pieces together and know exactly what you need to do. Branding. There are different ways that you can brand your fixed term membership site. What most of you are going to probably do is use the umbrella method, which basically means that you have one brand that covers this whole fixed term membership site. Now, if your membership site is about, let's say, selling products or something, then you might want to have a specific brand, but brand each individual new product. So what I'm trying to get at here is make you plan ahead, make you understand how to plan ahead, make you understand how to brand your fixed term membership site so that it sticks within the customer's mind. So how are you going to brand this? That's a big question that you need to ask yourself, because once you begin to run your fixed term membership site, your brand is going to be out there. People are going to hear about you, either good things or bad things. So you definitely need to have a good brand so that you can build that brand and sell in the future. Then you're going to need to know how long your membership site will last. Now, what you can do initially is when you gather all the content and see how much content you have, what kind of content you might need to add, then that will tell you how long your membership site will last realistically. You could have 6 weeks of content, you could have 6 to 12 months worth of products. It really depends on your audience and who is buying your products. For example, if your audience just wants super quick information, they don't want anything long, they just want 5 minutes of this and that, then maybe you could do a daily thing of 5 minutes, one video, which is 2 to 5 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes, something quick. So it really depends on your audience. You got to think to yourself, what would my audience want? And another good way to figure that out is to look at your competitors. What are your competitors doing? What are competitors doing that is working? And what are competitors doing that is not working? If you understand all of this, then it'll make it easier for you to figure out how long your membership site will last, because it varies differently from niche to niche, from topic to topic, and from market to market. So figure that out, and once you figure how much content you have and how long it'll last, then you can understand your delivery plan. And that's very, very easy. It just follows through with the same thing. You can do daily, X number of days, weekly, every 2 weeks, every X weeks, monthly, and so forth. And once you understand your delivery plan, then when you set up your autoresponder, then all you have to do is create a new follow-up for every one of those days, those X days, those weeks, and so forth. And then daily is probably overkill unless it's small bite-sized quality content, like I said earlier. So depends on your audience. And weekly is good if it's actionable content. Most people are not going to have time to do something, every single day. But they'll definitely have time to do it every single week. So like I said, think about your audience, think about your competitors, and then create a plan from that point. Hello and welcome to video number 3. We're going to talk about gathering and organizing your content. Here is how it is going to work. First, you're going to get all your content and put it all in one folder. It doesn't have to be organized. And then you're going to start making other folders. You're going to need to have some sort of system to know which folders are which. So what I recommend is you figure out your delivery plan. So once you figure out your delivery plan, then you can do week 1, week 2, week 3, and so forth. In month 1, month 2, month 3, and so forth. But you never want to do something that is easily guessed, like week 1, week 2. You always want to add some sort of numbers after it or before it. But you still want to keep it where you know exactly what week 1 and 2 and so forth. You don't want to do something random, like a bunch of numbers and a bunch of numbers. You want to make it so you understand what it is, but then at the same time, other people can't guess it. Because when we're setting up this type of fixed term membership site, we're not going to be doing any protection whatsoever. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, can't somebody share it? Can't somebody, this and that? Yes, they probably could, but in reality, you do this so you can take one step forward to get ahead and to protect yourself. But at the same time, if you begin to worry about all these complicated protection scripts and so forth, I guarantee it'll put you back a month or two, or even more than that, and you will not get things done. So this is an extra added layer of protection to protecting yourself. So once you've done that, you can put everything into the folders, and it's time to move on. So with that said, now you know what to do. I'm going to show you how to do it, and let's hop over to Windows and start gathering that content and organizing it. The first thing that I recommend that you go ahead and do is to create a folder with the name of your fixed term membership site or the theme, and then add all of your content in this folder. Okay, so I went ahead and copied the content over to this folder, and let's say, for example, that I want to create a fixed term membership site about outsourcing, and each and every month I'll have a different course on outsourcing. Now, let's say, for example, month number 1, I have a video series on Fiverr outsourcing, how to outsource different tasks on Fiverr.com. So in this case, I have about 9 different videos. Now, before I begin to say, okay, this is day 1 or week 1 or day 2, day 3, day 4, you have to think about, okay, if somebody's going to watch this specific video or read this specific piece of content, are they going to feel satisfied for that day? Well, in this case, because video number 1 is just an intro, they're probably not going to feel as satisfied because they're going to want to have some more actionable content. So you could do it in a way like, let's say the first week they get access to the first 3 videos. And then the second week they get access to the 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, 8, 9 is the third week. So if I were to do that and think through it, and I say, okay, people are going to be satisfied with these pieces of content and this, and I've gotten to that conclusion where I feel that they're going to be satisfied, and I know they're going to be satisfied, then I can actually begin to make my delivery plan. Now, the reason why I want you to think through this is because if somebody were to receive on the first day something that's not very satisfying, they feel like they didn't get their money's worth, then guess what? They're going to cancel and they're going to ask for a refund. So you want to make sure that you give enough but not give too much. Now, if I were to give, let's say on the first day, all of this, and all of this is way too much, it's very overwhelming, then, and let's say I give for every week or maybe every day, I give a brand new course. Now that would be very overwhelming. And what happens there is somebody will actually get the stuff. They're going to be really happy at first, but then they're going to realize that they're just not going to have time. So you're going to get people who have buyer's remorse and they feel like, wait a minute, I really don't have time. I'm going to have to get my money back. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to make money with this, or I'm not going to be able to learn this and this and that. So that begins to enter the picture. So what I'm trying to get at is don't give too little and don't give too much. So now that you understand that process, let's go ahead and organize all of this content. So let's say, for example, this is just month number 1, and week number 1, they're going to receive these 3 items and so forth and so forth. Now, if you're doing text or any type of newsletters with content, then you might want to actually put it inside of the autoresponder itself. But if you have some sort of videos or reports or PDFs or anything like that, then this is when this video or this part of the video will be applicable and will be helpful to you. So in this case, I have AVI files and Flash files. And let's say because people are learning only, then I'm only going to provide the Flash files. And what this means is when somebody goes to the link that I send them, they're going to be able to watch the video on site. So obviously you need to locate your files, and then you need to zip your files up. Or if you're not going to do zip files, then you want to make sure that they can read it, or they can watch it, or they can download it off of your site. So in this case, I have decided that, okay, all I want them to do is watch the video on my website. So this is a Flash content, which basically means somebody will come to the site and they'll see the Flash video immediately. Now, what I want to do here is I want to do, say, week 1 and then dash, and then it could be whatever that specific piece of content is about. So I could say week 1, and then let's say for video number 2, I also have week 1. And then video number 3, I got week 1 as well. Video number 4, I have week 2. and so forth and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video and go ahead and do that so you can see it all in action. Okay, so I went ahead and did it, and as you can see, I've got week 1, week 1, week 1, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3, 3. So right now we have created amount of content for 3 weeks. And of course I can add to this and create more weeks of content in the future. But in this case, I just want to use this as an example. So as you can see, I have named it week 1. So in this case, I'm going to send all these 3 videos to people in one email. Now, if you want to do it on a daily basis, then you might want to say week 1, day 1. Now, I know this looks a little tedious, but I guarantee you that it's going to help you in the long run. So day 1, because that's an introduction video, let's say we'll just give that on day 1 as well. But the third video, which is article research, and let's say my target audience are newbies, so they really need to understand how to do it correctly, and they need the time. So I'm gonna say day 3. And if it's on a weekly basis, you probably want to spread it out among the week. You don't want to do it too far, but you want to do it enough where they can watch the videos and take action. Like take action that day or the next day, and give them enough time so that they take action. And this is one of the strategies too that you can use with, getting them to stay in your membership site. Remember, don't give too little, but don't overwhelm them either. So your goal is to help them take action. If you can help them take action, then you're one step closer to them staying at your membership site. But not only that, they're going to succeed, and that's what you want. So week 2, we're going to do day 1 here. And then since that's social networks, I'm going to do day 3. And then I'm going to pause this video and just go through all of these. All right, so now you see that I've gone through everything, and I've got week 1, day 1, and then day 1, and then week 1, day 3, and then week 2, day 1, and week 2, day 3, week 2, day 5, and as you can see, I've done day 1, 3, and 5. And the reason why I did that was just to leave a day in between so that people will have enough time to take action. If you can get them to take action, then they'll love you. And if they can succeed, then they'll love you even more. And of course, they'll stay at your site even longer. So now that you have done that, we're almost done. Now, before I end this video, what I want to do is figure out, in terms of an autoresponder, okay, I've got week 1. So there's 7 days in a week, and if you start using an autoresponder, the day 1 is actually starts with 0. So day 3 would actually be, let's see, 1, and then what I'll do is I'll use dots, and this is really not that complicated once you get a hang of it. So day 1, week 1. So we'll just do day 1. Okay, day 1. 0, and then day 3. So we're going to put 2 emails or 2 links in this one spot, and this is 1, and then 2 is day 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7. So in actuality, it's just that day minus 1. So we've got 7 days here. And then the following week is day 1. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then so forth. 14, 15, or not 15, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then so on and so on. So this is actually the schedule that you're going to enter into the autoresponder. And as you can see, it's basically just a day minus 1 to get that number. And it'll make all sense when I actually set up the autoresponder and set up the sequences and everything like that. So I'm going to close this down and we're going to move on to the next video, and I'm going to talk about how to increase your stick rate so that people will stay in your membership site. Hello and welcome back to video number 4, how to create a high stick rate and customer value for your fixed term membership site. Now, before we can begin to think about how to create a high stick rate, you need to think about why people leave. Why do refunds happen? If you understand this, then you understand how to prevent this. And I'm going to go through and show you some tips and tricks that you can also use. A lot of time people leave because they don't feel that they got their money's worth. They feel like, oh man, I didn't get my money's worth, or so forth. I feel ripped off, and they start getting all these thoughts into their head. They don't feel like they can get the help that they need. They don't feel like you care. They don't feel like the content that you give is not of quality. So they don't feel like you have quality content. They feel overwhelmed. Then after that, they feel like they don't have enough time. And suddenly, buyer's remorse begins to happen. So what we want to do is try to prevent that from happening. How? Well, first of all, you need to create a really amazing experience and environment. So it's all about the experience environment that you create. If you can create a great feeling and a great environment for them, then it's a perfect setting where you can really engage them, get them to take action and so forth and so forth. So that's why it's important to stand in their shoes while you plan the site. You'll notice that in the previous video how I talked about, okay, the first things that they get, you need to make sure that they feel like they have gotten enough, or they feel like it fits newbies, it fits possibly even advanced users, and so forth and so forth. Because if an advanced user comes in and they feel like, wait a minute, I have to wait a whole week to get this other content, and I'm already aware of this content, then that could be a problem. Then you're probably going to get refunds from the advanced users. But if you give too much content and a newbie comes in and thinks, wow, this is way too much, and then what happens then in their mindset is they begin to think, wait a minute, I don't have enough time. And once that seed is planted into their heads, then you have a potential refund on your hands. So what you want to do is you want to create enough content, but not too much content, otherwise it'll freak them out. So it's a fine line between too much, too little, and just enough. You don't want to give too much, but you don't want to give too little, but you want to give just enough. It's kind of similar to when you tell somebody how to do something. Most people, when they want to learn how to do something, they want it simple and straightforward and to the point. They want to know how to do it and possibly the whys and the whats and so forth. But if you give too much information, then it begins to freak them out, and then all these sorts of feelings start coming in. But if you give them too little information that they can't actually take action, then they're going to be frustrated. So you need to figure out where that fine line is and then go at it. Another thing you need to do is provide the best quality content. I know this is somewhat self-explanatory and you might be thinking, yeah, I know this, but you'd be surprised how much membership sites out there actually provide not the best quality content. So you need to figure out what they expect and what your competitors are doing right now. What are they providing? Compare their product versus your product. And then what your goal is is to give them more quality content. Now, your competitors might have a lot of content, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is quality content. So what I'm saying is figure out what kind of quality content that your competitors are providing, and then give them more. But give them what they can take. Find that fine line and give them the quality content enough where they're going to be happy. Go above and beyond and show them that you care. This is one of the biggest things that I see, the biggest dropout rates for membership sites. When people enter a site and they look at the content and they don't feel like you care enough to create good content, then they're probably going to leave. Now, when I say show them that you cared, it doesn't always mean to reach out to them and start, saying, hey, I care about you, blah, blah, blah. And that's not what I mean. What I mean is show them you care through the stuff that you're providing. Another way, and this is a cool tidbit to show them that you care, is in between each delivery message to send them something that is unexpected. So let's say, for example, that you're sending something every single week. So if I do 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 week, and 4 week, what I mean by this is to send a message. Let's say all the messages are sent on a specific day. What you can do is 2 days after those messages go out, you can say, hey, did you get my message? Here's a link if you didn't. Have you taken action? Here's how to break through some distractions, to take some action. Help them get there. If you can help them get there, that'll show them that you care. So again, help them utilize your content and take action. And that's how you show them that you care. So it could be an unannounced tip or advice that they'll want to hear that will help them. And you can check upon them to make sure that they're taking action. And here's the thing, if you help them succeed in any way, help them solve a problem, help them fix a problem, help them stop an addiction, a bad habit, and so forth, and help them take action in any other way, they're going to feel accomplished. And when they feel accomplished, they will feel like you care. Another thing is to engage and follow up with them. So the previous slide is somewhat of engaging, but here are some other ways. You can ask for feedback and use surveys. And engaging with customers, I've seen a lot of membership sites do not engage with their customers. I run a membership site and I love engaging with my customers. And there's a high stick rate because of that. So engage your customers. This is very, very rare. Ask for feedback through different survey, I think softwaremonkey.com, and we've got wufoo.com, wufoo.com, and there's a lot of sites that have surveys. If you can ask for feedback in between those delivery messages, that will actually be great. You could say you provide, let's say, the Fiverr outsourcing video course, and then at the end of the video course, you could say, hey, what did you think of the video course? How could it be improved? What did you find that was struggling for you, and this and that? You can actually take those surveys and create more delivery messages for your future customers. So this is a great way to get feedback and constructive criticism that can improve your site. But engaging when somebody fills out the survey and it's something really good, send them a simple email. Say, hey, thanks for signing up for this survey and filling it out. It's really helped me. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, this is an automated membership site. Why should I have to engage with people? Well, you don't have to, but this is all about getting that stick rate up high. If you can show one customer that you really care, they might stay for a year, 2 years, or even 3 years. I mean, think about it. That's just 5 minutes of your time, spending that time to help that customer. You can also add something in addition to what they get that will help engage them. For example, a forum, a secret newsletter, a blog, or some place to interact. If they can somehow interact with you, and that does not necessarily mean that you give them your phone number, but that just means that they are able to engage with you somehow. Or, like I said here, communicate through email and actually respond to your email. It takes 1 or 2 minutes or 5 minutes of your time, respond to that email, and you could have a customer for a long, long time. Customer value. Do all of this and many more, and your customers will likely stay with you for a long, long time. But if you skimp on any of these suggestions, then you're likely going to have a higher drop-off rate. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that you do everything in this video and you're going to succeed. There's no guarantee at all. But if you do all of this, most likely, you provide good quality content, engagement, good environment, and so forth, most likely customers will stay. Hello and welcome to video number 5, how to create thank you download pages. Now, this is going to be the main thank you page, whereas the person purchases through your subscription, through PayPal button, and they are then forwarded to this main thank you page, which then includes your autoresponder sign up. They can sign up and then they begin to receive the emails. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, do you need individual thank you pages for, your week 1, week 2, day 1, day 2, and so forth and so forth? Probably not unless you have a ton of links. And what I mean by that is if your fixed term membership site is only a monthly membership site and you have, let's say, 20 links, then you might want to create an individual thank you page for that specific month. And so if they get the email, they get a link, the link sends them to a thank you page that has a ton of links on that thank you page. But for the most of you, if you got 5, 8 links and so forth, you can include that inside of the email itself. So it's better off using the email as a thank you email with a link or two or several links on the inside. So remember, do not overwhelm them. Separate it into bite-sized chunks and you're on the road to success. So with that said, let me go ahead and show you what you need to do to start creating your thank you page. So in order to create and edit the HTML thank you page, you're going to need to have a web editing tool. In this specific example, we're going to be using a web editing tool called Composer. And as you can see here, if you go on to google.com and type in Compozer, it's located at composer.net. Now, I like Composer because it's really, really easy to use. And as you can see here, this is what it looks like. So if you've used any type of word processor, Microsoft Word, OpenOffice, or anything like that, then using this tool is actually just about the same. And it's actually quite easy to do. Now, depending on your operating system, Composer is compatible with Windows, with Macintosh, and Linux. So if you click on this downloads link at the very top, you will notice that they have it in different languages. They have it in different operating systems for Windows, Macintosh, and Linux. So go ahead and download the software, go ahead and install it, and then I'll see you on the other side. Now, since I've already installed the program and I already use it, what you want to do is go back to the folder where all of our other pieces of content are located, right here. So what I like to do is just put the thank you page somewhere in the folder so everything is easily accessible. Now what you need to do is you can create it any name you want, but what I normally do in Windows is I create a new text document, and then I rename this and call this thanks, and then put a bunch of numbers, a bunch of letters, .html. And click on yes, and this will be our thank you page. Now, if I've installed Composer and everything is working, then all I need to do is right click that file and click on open with, and I'll move it down here so you can see it better. But if I right click and click on open with Composer, as you can see, it has opened up our thanks bunch of numbers.html, and this is our thank you page. So normally what I do on the thank you page is I say thanks for purchasing, please fill out your name and email to begin receiving the content. And what you can do here is you can actually highlight this and change the font if you choose to do so. You can make the font larger, you can make the font smaller, you can bold it, you can italicize it, you could underline it, and so forth. And you can also change the font face here. So if I want to make it Arial, I can do that. Thanks for purchasing. I can put that in red. And to please fill out your name and email to begin receiving the content. Now, in order to finalize the thank you page, I need to have the autoresponder code. So what I like to do is put some sort of phrase, a keyword phrase, like 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And then in the future videos, I'm going to show you how to get the web code from your autoresponder and add it over here. And you'll see why this is important to have. Something that is unique and something that you will remember. Now, you can also add some images here. You can also add some other offers that you can sell people on the thank you page, and a lot more. Now, in terms of creating the sales page, editing the sales page to have a PayPal button that then forwards to this specific thank you HTML page, I'm going to show you that in the next video. Hello and welcome to video number 6. You're going to be learning in this specific video how to create a PayPal button, how to add it to your sales page, and how to connect that PayPal button to your thank you page. Alright, so the first thing that you need to do is to locate your thank you page, which we created in the previous video, and then you're going to need to create a sales page. So if you don't already have a sales page, I would do the same exact thing as I did previously, create a new text document, but this time I'm going to call it index.html. Click on yes, and that's actually what you want to name it, your sales page, index.html. You can name your thank you page anything you would like to. I'm going to leave that there because what we're going to do next is we're going to create the PayPal button. Now, the PayPal button is going to be on the index.html page, the sales page, and then when somebody purchases the product, they are going to be sent to the thank you page. Now, in order to create a PayPal button, you're going to need to have a link to this specific page. So in other words, you're going to need to tell PayPal where you're going to upload your thank you page. Now, since we haven't actually uploaded any files yet, what I've done here is I have gone ahead and created a link, because what I'm telling myself is I'm going to upload this thank you page and all the rest of the files to this specific location. Check this out right now, .net/fixterm. So this is where my files are going to be located, and this is where my thank you page is going to be. So you'll want to make kind of a judgment as to where it's going to be, and then we're going to upload it to that location. So now that you have these three items, what you need to do now is hop on over to PayPal. I've already logged into PayPal, my PayPal account, and what you need to do is click on Merchant Services. And then after that, click on Create Payment button. Now the next thing that you need to do is simply to create a PayPal payment button. And it's very, very easy to do. You can choose a button type. And we're going to do subscriptions because we're going to charge a monthly fee. And we're going to click subscriptions. We're going to call this outsourcing, fixed term. The subscription ID is optional. You don't need that. And you can also customize the button. You can add a drop-down menu with prices and so forth. You can add a drop-down menu to gather other data if you want to, but we're going to leave it as it is. Billing amount each cycle. We're going to say $17 for the whole video course. And since we're doing it by month, it's going to be 1 month. If you were to charge on a weekly basis, you can do that. You can do it on a yearly, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. So if you wanted to do it quarterly, you could do it 3 months and so forth. So we're going to keep it at 1 month. And after how many cycles should this billing stop? You can actually make it stop because you're doing a fixed term membership site. If you're doing let's say 6 months, then you could do 6 months. And you can also offer a trial period if you want to do that. And then simply click on Customize Advanced Features. We don't need to do the track inventory because I'm selling an intangible product. You can do that if you want to, but it's not important. So now it says, do you need your customer's shipping address? I do not. This is going to be delivered to them automatically. It says take customers to this URL when they cancel their checkout. So this here will probably be the location of your sales page. So if they cancel, I want to direct them back to my sales page. So just enter that here. And then it says take customers to this URL when they finish the checkout. This is going to be your main thank you page. So I'm going to enter this here and click on Create Button. Now I have the code here. So all you have to do is click it, select it, right click, copy, and then I'm going to copy it over here to WordPad. And if you click on email, it basically gives you the link. So I can also grab this email link as well. So this is useful if you already have a sales page created and you have a fancy PayPal or payment button already, then all you need is this specific link. And once you're done with that, you can close this specific browser. And what we need to do now is to simply edit the thank you page. So I'm going to click on right click, click on Open With, and click on Composer. Now my sales page is blank just because I just created it. But for most of you, you're going to have a sales page that has sales copy on it and so forth and so forth. So we could have our headline, subheadline, information, problem, solution, blah, blah, blah. And then all the way down at the bottom, we've got the payment button here. Buy now to access the outsourcing video training courses, which will be delivered on a weekly basis. And on your sales page, you probably want to say something of that nature about when and how long they're going to receive their content. So is it on a weekly basis, a daily basis, a monthly basis, and so forth. And of course, everything else. So make sure that you're transparent on your sales page. And then in this case, I wanted to add the payment button here. So I'm going to put some sort of code that only I know, 456654. And then if you go to your source code and you look for that code, all you have to do is highlight this and simply copy that PayPal button information, that code that we got previously over here. And once that's done, I click on save. I can click exit. And if I double click this, you'll notice that this is our sales page and it has a subscribe button. And if I click on this, it forwards us to PayPal, and as you can see here, I've got the outsourcing fixed term for $17 for each month for 6 different installments. And as you can see, it works. And if all goes through, then it's going to be forwarding me to that thank you page that I set up earlier. That was right here. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to upload these files to your FTP so that it can begin to work on your live site. Hi, and welcome to video number 7. We're going to be talking about how to upload your pages, your sales page, your thank you page, all of your other content, and get the individual URLs of the content. So the first thing that you'll want to do is hop on over to your file manager where your content is located, and to make sure that everything is ready to be uploaded. So depending on whether you're going to provide the content as a PDF, as a zip file, in the email itself, or as a video in this case, you want to make sure that everything is going to work before you upload it. Otherwise, you're going to have some complications. Now, in this case, I have videos, so it's a little more complicated than a PDF or a zip file, but it's not as complicated as it sounds. Now, as you can see here, it's a flash file, and the easiest thing to do is to make sure that your HTML file that hosts or holds the flashed video is called index.html. And you'll see why in just a minute, because when I get all the URLs, it'll simply be the checkthisout.right/now.net/fixed-term/this folder name, and that's it. And then you're going to need to have your sales page and your thank you page, and that's it. So the next thing you'll need to do is hop on over to google.com and type in FileZilla. FileZilla is a free FTP program, and if you click here, you can go ahead and download and install this program onto your computer. Now, the good thing about FileZilla is it is actually compatible with not only Windows, but also with Macs as well as the Linux operating system, as you can see here. So go ahead and install it, and I'm going to be using it in just a minute. So in addition to FileZilla, you're going to need to have access to your website. So you're going to need to have your FTP information as well as your username and password. So enter your ftp.yourdomain.com, enter your username and password, click on Quick Connect, and then we're going to go from there. Now, for me, I have a folder called public_HTML, which is the root folder. Some of you will have HTTP docs or something else, but this is basically where you want to upload your files underneath. Now, in this case, remember I was checkthisout.right now.net/fixed-term. So what I needed to do is to simply create a folder underneath this folder called fixed term. And to create it, all you do is right click, click on create directory, and that's it. So what I want to do now is simply upload all of the files into this location. So it's actually very easy to do. All you have to do is highlight this and simply drag and drop everything into here. Now, I'm not going to be uploading the index.html file simply because I want to show you how to get your URLs to your content really quick. If you upload the index.html file, then people are going to see your sales page. So I'm going to select everything, click Control, select that, and then I'm going to drag and drop everything into here. Now, what I want to do now is to simply get the URL. So I'm going to wait, I'm going to pause this, I'm going to upload these files, and then I'm going to show you how to get the URLs of your content, which you're going to need for the next video when we create our delivery sequence using the autoresponder. Okay, so now that I've uploaded the content, what I need to do is go on to back to my browser here. And I'm going to open up a new tab, and then I'm going to go to the site or the subdirectory. Check this out right now, .net/fixed term, and click on that. And there we go. Now, as you can see, because I did not upload the index.html file, I can actually see what's inside of this folder. So the easiest way that I do is simply grab all these. And then what I do now is simply open up Notepad. And I copy these in here. And I simply copy this at the very top. And I look for some sort of pattern. For example, every one of these except for this one has the word week in the beginning. So what I can do up here is to go to replace week with this URL, and then I put week in here. So whatever you grab here that's similar to everything else, add it here. And then click on replace all. And as you can see here, I have the URLs for all of these links, except for this link, which I can do that. And then we have the index.html file, which I'm going to go ahead and upload that now that we have all those files here. So we're going to drag and drop the index.html file here. And if I go back here and click on refresh, you'll then notice that the index.html file is uploaded and we have our sales page here, and we're good to go. Now we have the URLs, which we're going to need for the next video when we begin to create our sequences in the autoresponder. And then in that video, we're going to get our web form code, which we can then add to our thank you page. And I'll show you all of that in the next video. Hello and welcome to video number 8. In this specific video, you're going to learn how to deliver your content. So in order to deliver your content, in the previous video, we got all the URLs that point to the content. Now all you need to do is to access a autoresponder service like aweber.com or getresponse.com or any other service that allows you to create an autoresponder. And then what we're going to do then is to simply create a bunch of follow-up messages that will send out to the person. So let's go ahead and go do that. Now you can use any autoresponder that you would like, but in this example I'm going to be using aweber.com. Now if you're going to use Aweber, then go ahead and log in to your account. Then after that, what you want to do is click on My Lists, and then click on Create and Manage Lists. You'll be given an opportunity to create a brand new list, and that's where you're going to be sent to. So at this moment, we're creating a brand new list. So you want to enter your list name, from name, and address. And then move on to personalizing your list. Then at this point, you can brand your company. So enter the name of the fixed term membership site. You can put the website URL and your email signature because this is what people are going to see. After that, simply click on Save Settings. And then, of course, last but not least of this section is to create the confirmed opt-in message. This message is what people are going to see. For example, when they sign up to your list through the thank you page, they're going to then receive an email basically requesting their permission to add to your list. So this is the message that they're going to receive. So you'll want to make sure that you customize it in a way where people know that this message is directly from you. So you might want to say something of your fixed term membership site. So you can edit the subject line. You can choose a pre-approved subject. Or you can enter a custom one here. You can say confirm your subscription to the outsourcing fixed. Now obviously you're not going to have fixed term membership, but outsourcing 123 membership. And then of course you can customize the intro where you can say, we received your request for information from default group. I would change that. I would say something like, thank you for purchasing the outsourcing 123 training. We received your request for information. And before we begin sending you in the information you requested, we then want to be certain we have your permission. So I think that's good enough. And of course you can change your signature. And then after that, you can enter a success URL. You don't have to include a success URL. So in this case, because we're delivering the content through email, I'm going to leave this blank and click on Save Settings. And then after you do this, you can go under Messages and click on Follow Up. And then we can begin to create our follow-up messages. So go ahead and click on New Plain Text Message. You can create HTML messages or you can create text messages. In this example, I'm going to be using text messages, which are basically just plain text. The welcome email, you probably want to say something like, here's access to your first outsourcing 123 video training. And then under that, you can say hi, and you can personalize this by clicking this button here. And you can choose, as you can see, full name, first name, last name, and so forth. So if I want to replace this, I could do that. And this basically just customizes it where if somebody receives the email, and let's say their first name is Bob, it's going to say, hi, Bob. So this really is automated. It's automation at its best. So it says, hi, first name. Thank you for purchasing the outsourcing 123 video training. And you kind of want to tell them again what the delivery schedule will be. Thank you for purchasing the outsourcing 123 video training course. just as a reminder, you will be receiving content every week. The first content is down below. Please watch these videos. What was it? Watch these 2 videos and get started right away. You might also want to include information about where they can get support. Need help? Please go to www.botblank.com/helpdesk. And let's see, this link here and this link here. Video 1, video 2. And even though it's very clear and cut as to what things are, the best thing is to tell people exactly what everything is, what they need to do, and so forth and so forth. So this is the first follow-up message that goes out, and you can also test and preview it if you want to. In this case, I'm going to click on Save and click on Next. And click on Save and Exit. And there we go. So we've gone ahead and created the first plain text email message. And what I want to do now is to create the second message. And the second message is going to contain week number 3, day 3. So as you can see, it's 0. And remember, I went through and created a schedule here. So it's going to be 0, 2, and possibly 4. So the first day they actually get 2 videos. The third day they actually get 1. And then the second week is 3 videos, and then the third week is 3 videos. But the first week they receive 2 videos on one day and 1 video on another. And then if you want to retain your customer and help your stick rate increase, you could always insert a message in between these just to make sure that they are taking action. So since day 3 I want to put it out, I need to click on New Plain Text Message. And then you want to continue it from that point. So what I mean by that is you want to say something like third video of the outsourcing. Watch the third video of the outsourcing course. And it's good to put a verb before your subject line so that, okay, watch this or do this. And then you can say hi, personalize it. You don't have to personalize it. You can if you want to. I hope you had a chance to view the videos, the other 2 videos. In this specific video, you will learn how to do article research. Or actually, how to outsource article research. And then to watch the video, simply click here. If you have any questions, please go to blank. Thank you, and to your success. So once you get a hang of it, you can actually duplicate this email and just connect it. And then once you're done, you can click on save, click on next. And this is important. It says number 2 is sent how many days after the previous email. So what we want to do is 2 days after. So all we have to do is 2 days after the previous. You can deliver it at a certain time, but we're going to leave this off. We're going to click on save and exit. And there we go. So if we create a brand new message, and in this case, we're going to deal with week 2, day 1. We can simply copy what I copied earlier. 4th, watch the 4th video of the outsourcing 123 video course. Hi, first name. I hope you had a chance to view the other video. And you can customize it. You can say on outsourcing article research. Did you have a chance to look at it? So you want to engage and ask questions. To watch the video, simply click here. And of course you want to enter the different URL and say, if you have questions, please go to blah, blah, blah. Thank you and to your success. Click on save. So as you can see here, after you create the first 2, then the other emails are actually very easy to create. Just simply copy, paste, and customize. Click on next. And then of course, remember ours was day 3, right? So all the way across would be 7 days, 6 days, 5 days. So it would be 5 days after this specific one. So if we were doing like, okay, the first one was on Monday, the second one was on Wednesday, and then how do we get back to Monday? So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 5 days. So 5 days after the previous, click save and exit. And there we go. Now you get the hang of it. What I want to do next is to create a web form for this specific list. So what you want to do is click on web forms, click on create a new web form, and then go ahead and create a web form. Now I don't want it to be too fancy. I want it to be fairly simple, straightforward, and to the point, where not too many distractions. So try to delete as many distractions as you can. And just leave the name and email. Sometimes if you just want to do email, you can do that without the name. But because I personalize it, I want the name. So I'm going to click on Save Web Form. I'm going to click on Go to Step 2. And I'm going to name the form name, my web form. I could do outsourcing 123 fixed term. And the cool thing about Aweber is you can actually choose a thank you page. You can choose the basic version, the audio version, the video version that shows people how to do stuff. And I'm going to choose that. I'm going to leave this as it is. Click on Go to Step 3. Click on Save Web Form, of course. And then I'm going to want to get the HTML or JavaScript code. So it says, let's see, I will install my form. All I need is the JavaScript. So simply highlight this, click on right click, click copy. And then what I want to do now is to hop on over to my thank you page. in my file manager, and I want to edit the thank you page with Composer. And if you recall, you'll remember that I put this number here for a reason. What I want to do is simply find this number by clicking the source code tab here, finding the number, and by using this method, you don't need to know anything about HTML. Simply replace that number that you created with this code, click on Save, Exit, and then of course you want to upload the file and overwrite this file. So all I need to do is drag and drop, and we can actually check it out. If I go to this page, I should be able to see the web form here. And that's it. Hello and welcome to video number 9. We're going to be testing the funnel to make sure everything works from start to finish. So in order to test, there are several things that you can do. Obviously, you want to make sure that the sales page is connected to the thank you page, and the thank you page, when they fill in this information, that they begin to receive the content. What you can do is ask a friend, like change this. You can actually go back to PayPal, and this button is actually saved in your PayPal account. So you can always change the price and it'll be affected here. Now, what I would normally do is I would click on this and ask a friend to purchase the product, because you can always refund them later. Ask them to purchase the product and go through the process and test it out. Now, if you don't have a friend who can test it out for you, you could always find a spouse or somebody who has a credit card, because PayPal now does not require you to have a PayPal account. So go ahead and do that, test it out, and make sure that you land to the thank you page. If you landed the thank you page, then great. Now you need to enter your name and your email address. Click on Submit, and then go to your email address and then confirm the subscription, and then from that point on, see if you receive the first follow-up email. And as you can see here, I have the email that I received. It says, "Thank you for purchasing the outsourcing 123 training, blah, blah, blah. Confirm this link below," which we have done. And that's it. So we received the first confirmation email. So that's a good sign. Now what we need to do is simply to see if the first follow-up message is able to come to our email box. And there we go. We have received it. It says, "Hi Bob, thank you for purchasing the Outsourcing 123 video training course. Just as a reminder, you'll be receiving content every week." So as you can see, we got the first video and the second video here, and it works. So that's how to test it. And of course, if you want to wait a few days, the other emails will come after that and after that. So definitely test it out. Definitely get some friends to test it out. And if it works, then and only then you can launch it live.